da, da, and we are back. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays for the people that get triggered by people that say Merry Christmas. If you're mad about that, I'm sorry. Welcome back to the For Against podcast. Here
the War on Christmas edition.
Here on Nick Hall Comedy. I'm Nick Hall, and I'm joined as always by
Josh Griffey.
Yeah, buddy. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give us a rating and review. And if you're on YouTube, jam those like buttons. Leave us a comment. If you got a For Against topic, throw it in the comments. And you know what? We'll probably do it. We'll probably fucking do it. And if you need some sweet gear, you're about to get all that Christmas money or your holiday money for the triggered people out there. And you can spend it at CoachKentMurphy.com/shop. We got some sweet gear on there. Happy holidays. Big week.
Merry Christmas. You say it. You say
it.
Did you see, by the way, one of the best things on the internet this week? There's this Jewish guy.
Yeah.
And for his mom, he got Smokey Robinson to record a cameo for her. Have you seen this? And he just goes, ha, ha, I know you're like my biggest fan. That means the world to me. And he's like, your son wanted me to wish you a happy Chokna. It's like, I have no idea why. I don't know what this Chokna is, but enjoy it. It's so good. So Smokey Robinson pronouncing Chokna. Look it up. It's amazing.
Well, my buddy, we went to college with him. One of my really good buddies is Jewish. And like, I grew up in a small ass town where everybody was Catholic. Like I didn't really I knew what I knew what Jewish religion was, but I didn't really know what the Jewish religion was. Yeah. You know, and I was just ignorant. But for like 5 years, I just kept being like, "Happy birthday," or Merry Christmas," and he'd be like, "Yeah," you know,
hey,
he didn't get mad about it. He was just like, "Yeah." And then finally, he was like, I don't celebrate Christmas. I was like, "Oh, you don't? That sucks." Like, why? And he was like, "Because I'm Jewish." And I was like, "Oh. Okay, well, happy whatever you do, man." And he was like, "Thanks, man."
What do you guys do? Hibernate? It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
I was young and I was like, I don't know what you guys do.
I did feel bad because my son, and I should know better. I have a lot of Jewish friends. I lived in Los Angeles for a while, right? Yeah. I met a lot of nice Jewish friends, and my son was like, So what's the deal with Hanukkah, Dad? And I was like, I don't know. Like, they made a lamp last for a long time, It shouldn't have, but it did. It was like a miracle. And he's like, that's it? And I was like, well, yeah. And I was like, and they, for 8 days, they have family get-togethers and presents, I think. And he goes, I think we need Hanukkah. I'm like, no. Don't be inappropriate.
Well, I was talking to my buddy the other day, and he's Jewish, and he's one of my best friends, but we were talking about that, and he was like, dude, he goes, in the Jewish religion, he's like, Hanukkah's not even one of the biggest holidays.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Passover and some others. I don't know. He explained them all to me. I half listened, but he was like, basically the only reason they do they celebrate Hanukkah is just to one up the Christians and be like, oh, it's
hell yeah.
Oh, you guys are going nuts.
I'm for that.
You guys are going nuts on this one day. We got 8 of them.
Yeah, well, we do 8.
He's like, days. But really, there's 3 other days in the Jewish calendar, or whatever, that are way bigger holidays to them. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know the deal with a lot of other holidays. If I'm being honest, I think we have 5 too many holidays.
Oh, yeah.
I think St. Patrick's Day and 4th of July erased. New Year's Eve erased.
Yeah.
The holidays that are for, because this is the thing, I'm like, when you ask people what their favorite holidays are, if they say St. Patty's, 4th of July, or New Year's Eve, they're probably among your dumbest friends.
Yeah.
And to me, I've been a serious drinker for all of my adult life.
Guilty.
So I don't need a special day to wear dumb clothes and go drink and get a sunburn.
Well, that's the thing. If I were a banker, I would probably love holidays.
Sure.
Because you get all of them off. It's like, is it Arbor Day? Well, bank's closed.
You take off that tie your kids brought you for Hanukkah?
Yeah, I bartended forever.
Yeah.
And man, there ain't no holidays at the bar, bro.
No.
It's like, oh, what is that, Christmas? We're open late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, well, hey, what do you got there? What is that?
Yeah, all the time.
A family gathering? Can you come in at 4?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to take my favorite itchy sweater, my itchy green sweater my family got me for Christmas, because I work at State Farm, and I'm going out and staying out extra late and drinking.
Yeah.
And they're like, have you ever done anything like that? You're like, Yeah, Tuesday,
I'm
Thursday.
I'm gonna go burden some people that were forced to not be with their family today.
Yeah, and also it's the exact same thing because every time you have a holiday, it brings out people who ruin drinking for me, right? Like, ooh, it's special occasion drinking. I'm going to be extra annoying. Everywhere's packed.
Yeah.
We need to do away with more holidays.
I agree.
I like Christmas and I like Halloween. Almost every other holiday.
Well, when I bartended like the big holidays, we would just always call them like amateur night.
Yeah, exactly.
We did, like St. Patty's Day comes around and it's like the fucking worst day in the world.
Yeah.
Because all these people that don't go to bars, don't know the bar etiquette. New Year's is the same. Night before Christmas, night before Thanksgiving. Yeah. It's all the same. A bunch of people that don't know how to fucking act in a bar come out. A bunch of young ass kids or fucking old Karens that don't know how to act in a bar and they're fucking, it's like wall to wall in there and like Karen's fucking waving her water glass around and I need some more water. Yeah. Like, well, if you need more water, Karen, go fucking home.
That's why you need
turn your goddamn faucet on.
Yeah, you need a high-powered Nerf gun.
Daddy's
for water,
making
people.
shots, bub.
Yeah, if you come to a bar and you interrupt a busy bartender for water, you have to order like 5 drinks and can we add a water?
And then they're like, and then they're the people that it's like, you know, you're fucking 8 deep at the bar and some guy's like, I think I only had 7 Miller Lights, not 8. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, I'll absorb the 75
sure I had 7. Yeah, like, all right, here's your $3 back. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
Bye, go back to your
Chad.
Horrible. Yeah, fuck you. My only, because I hate Thanksgiving because as you know, I'm leading the war on turkey now.
Sure.
Just shit dog food meat.
I love turkey.
Dry, horrible, butt
idiot.
stuffing meat. I hate it. So yeah, Thanksgiving gone. My favorite, this is leading into my first 4 against, but my favorite Christmas tradition, because when we lived in LA, my wife's a nurse, so she would work essentially every holiday. We didn't have kids, so that meant you're working.
Yeah, they're open. The hospital's open.
Sorry, hospital, you have to work, right? The gift that my wife gave you is your kid's not dead. So she'd do that, and I'd be sitting home by myself, and I'm like, well, what can I do? Like, I don't like sitting here. Yeah. There's no snow, right? So I just rolled down to the body shop. Because I happened to be listening to Motley Crue. Yeah. And it was girls, girls, girls. I'm like, wait a second. I think like 3 of these strip clubs
baby.
are right here. So I did the thing where I would go to every strip club for 2 hours. And I would start at like noon. Like the earliest one would open. And I would just do that all day.
Bounce,
And they all have great little buffets. They're super excited to see you. It's not even as much about the dancing. It's just like, wow, what a motley crew that we've been. Yeah, it's like the island of misfit toys, but with some tits and glitter.
To this day, I'm mad. So when I lived in LA with you, me, you, and Heath, and fucking, I went home for the holidays. Heath stayed, and I get a call from both of you at like 2 in the morning, and you're just hammered. And I was like, "What's up?" You're like, "We're at the fucking Stardust or whatever the hell." Cheetahs. We're like, "We're at Cheetahs. We've been going to strip clubs all day." And I was like, "Man, I just had like." Fucking dinner with my grandma. That sucks. I want to go to the strip club.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was so mad I came home to see family.
Yeah.
Instead of going
the family's fine. The matching sweaters, the Christmas morning is magical, but
I was like, dude, really, I've had 30 Christmases with my mom. I want one with Trixie and Titania.
No one's getting me cool presents anymore. I got to give myself the presents.
Do they all dance to that Mariah Carey song?
Oh my God, yes. There's always one girl who's so excited. She's like, I just want to drink with the boys. She's like, no, I'll do one more. I'll do one more dance. And then she runs up, I just got a lot for Christmas. It's titties. It's magical, dude. But speaking of titties.
Yes.
So James Harden is off to a rough start in his NBA
He's got some titties of his own now.
Yeah, well, not only does he have titties, but he must just be collecting titties. Like layaway titties, man. So James Harden, once out of town. Russ got out. A lot of stories are starting to circulate about James Harden sucking.
Yeah.
No one seems to like him except for Daryl Morey. So he wants out, right? Yeah. So some bad behavior's been arising. He showed up, fat as hell.
Yeah. I called him James Hardy's.
Yeah, James Hardy's. He's just like, hey, PJ Tucker, you got any extra of those short but wide jerseys? But so he threw a basketball at a teammate's face. Tensions are rising. Well, now it came out he might have to miss the season opener.
Yeah.
Because he broke the league's COVID protocols, whatever that is. We don't have the bubble anymore. Video surfaced of him at a titty bar, no mask, being gifted a Dior jewel encrusted luggage.
Yourself, yeah.
As if James Harden doesn't already have furry Versace luggage or whatever. And so happy about it And it made me think, I think I've all the way reversed, and James Harden's my favorite NBA player now. For or against disgruntled Harden throwing his weight around.
I'm for it. I'm for it. Because basically, like, what he's doing is, like, he requested the trade and early in the offseason, which was only 2 months long anyway. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no. And then they go and trade Westbrook and bring John Wall in. They're like, here's this. And he was like, no, I still want to go.
Yeah.
They're like, no. And he's like, all right, I'm getting fat then. You know what I mean?
Well, you brought this on yourself.
He's going to be the first guy ever in NBA history that's going to miss a game, and the injury report's going to say adult onset diabetes.
He's just like Fat Mac. He's just had a titty bar.
He's Fat Macking it, man.
Yeah, he's just going to the strip club with a garbage
they're like, I
full.
won't trade you. And he's like, fine, I'm just going to get fat and break all the protocols. Yeah. And they're still like, no, you're playing, pal. And he's like, fine.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he looks like in a game, like what he does. Like, well, he might just start pulling from half court. He might just get like pull.
Yeah, well, this is the thing I like. It. We now know that not only does he take all of his shots on the court, he takes them off the court.
He always takes them, baby.
He's always taking shots.
I gotta be honest, I don't like James Harden.
I've always hated James Harden. I thought
now
the Rockets
becoming a
were
fan.
Unwatchable.
Yeah,
I hate that style. I hate his.
I think he's the most fraudulent superstar of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like Kevin Love in Minnesota, where you're like, that's great stats, but your team. Yeah. When they get in the playoffs, I can see that your team sucks.
20 fraudulent free throws a game.
Yeah.
And that's why he scores. Like, he just, it's.
And he's great. Don't get like he's a. Gifted
I don't think
scorer.
he is great.
He's a gifted scorer.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's a decent shooter. He's a good shooter.
Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter.
I wouldn't call him a gifted scorer.
Yeah.
If they officiated him by the rules, like, he'd be a 14, 15 point a night guy.
I mean, he's still a great 3-point shooter.
He would. He'd be like fucking,
You think he would drop down to under?
Yeah, he'd be like Danny Green.
Danny Green. He'd be like the third Marcus Morris, Markieff Morris. Just stocky troublemakers. Yeah. No. What I like about it too is I saw a lot of people talking shit on him, and I was like, this is the inevitable end of player empowerment.
Yeah.
You cannot be mad at James Harden for behaving this way.
Yeah.
And applaud LeBron for forcing his way wherever he wants and being a GM.
100%.
This is what happened. Because they can say all the time, well, we have a contract. Well, we have to do this. We have to rebuild Houston. And he's like, you are literally going to be rebuilding. I'm going to have an army of glitter-clad and strippers burn this place to the ground for me.
Yeah.
He is... This is the other thing, too. Like you said, he's a bit of a fraudulent superstar.
Yeah.
Because although he has these scoring abilities, he's never going to help take a team, I think, unless he's like the second guy.
No, he's like
third
way
guy.
off P.
Yeah. He's not going to be like a championship level player. So they propped him up as this guy and made him feel like he's the legit, like,
he's barely a second round playoff player.
You're the best guy. Yeah.
Barely.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
You give this guy every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then you're shocked.
Yeah, well, they've just
he's mad about it.
They've just like wheeled in these superstars around him. Like, here, you want Chris Paul?
Yeah.
How do you like my selects? Chris Paul. He's like, get him out of here. How about Russell Westbrook? No, like John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall, who's essentially Carlton pretending to be John Wall. Chris Paul in the State Farm commercials. I'm well on the record with John Wall. Speaking of just, this is like the fraudulent superstar team. Like John Wall pretending. I hear all the time people who try to tell me John Wall is an NBA superstar.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty awesome at sitting on a fucking chair.
He's pretty good.
That's all I know for
I just
sure.
love that they're like, you know what? We'll get you a guy that wins from Washington.
No, not that one. The other one. There is a guy in Washington you'd want to team up with.
Yeah, Beal.
Yeah. No, John Wall. It's like, don't worry. He'll be injured before you know it, so you'll have someone backing you up at the strip club. It's, I don't know. I kind of love it, though, because I think we're in this era where guys like him and Kyrie.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest,
I'm for it.
I don't need to watch NBA basketball until the playoffs. Like, I do watch. I actually really like the NBA. But none of it really matters.
I'm for Fat Macking it to try to get your way.
I am for
cultivating mass.
Yeah, doing that, pretending to believe in flat Earth, like writing weird poetry on your Instagram, like whatever it takes. I want to see these. I want to see how far this goes and what the owners do to fight back. Like, what is the step to get this under control?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is like, okay, that's how you know where Harden stands in the pantheon of the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this were LeBron James, LeBron gets his way.
Always.
All day LeBron gets his way. Harden has to fucking get fat. Like he didn't get his way, and so he was like, well, I'm not going to hold out. And like he had to resort to getting fat.
Yeah.
And going to strip clubs to try to get his way. Because that's just like the separation of him and LeBron. Like he thought he was up here. He thought he was like neck and neck.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, and then he's like eating that first rib, on day one where he's like thinking about getting fat and he's like just crying and he's like, I guess I'll just eat 100 of these. I'll show them.
I'm fat because I eat.
He's like, that's my favorite part of that Always Sunny. He's like, you're fat as shit, Mag. He's like, I'm cultivating mass. He goes, well, stop cultivating and start harvesting. That's where Harden's at right now.
Well, yeah, because you can let LeBron do that to you, and you can say, oh, he left Cleveland in ruins, whatever. He also left them with a banner they would never have gotten.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, you can say whatever you want about LeBron. I'm not the biggest LeBron, like.
But in this scenario, LeBron gets his way.
Yeah,
all day.
That's why you give him his way. If you give Harden his way, the only people that make out are all of the local topless dancers. Like, that's the best thing that comes from signing Harden to your team.
The biggest strip club in your city is the only winner in that trade.
Yeah, and probably all the smaller ones, too. Like, they're all stoked. That industry booms. Everything else, but I'm for it. I'm for it.
I'm for Fat Jimmy.
That's your leverage.
And I think I'm going to start calling him Jimmy Harden.
Jimmy Harden?
Because, like, that's kind of like, that's kind of like the badass, like, fucking old man power move. So now he's not James, he's Jimmy Harden.
Fat Jimmy Harden.
Old Fat Jimmy.
Jimmy Hardy's. Well, Jimmy Hardy's.
Certainly not Slim Jim.
I'm for it, man. 100% for bad behavior from NBA players. Like fun bad behavior. It's not like they're Aaron Hernandezing people.
Yeah.
Like fun bad behavior.
Yeah, I'm for getting fat and breaking protocols to try to power move your organization. I'll always be for that. Yeah. 100%.
We're player empowerment.
Here's what I got here. Sticking on the sports theme, we're going to go from YouTube here from Fat Hound.
Fat Hound. Is that James Harden? Do you think he listens?
Oh, yeah, probably.
It's Fat Hound James Harden.
James Hardy's, we hear you. Fat Hound has 4 against rooting for the hometown team.
Against. Why?
Fluent fan over here.
Yeah, I think it's insane. Yeah. It's fucking insane. I don't understand this. It's the same way that people are like so overly into America just because that's where their sperm fell out of a nut. Like it's like if you're not like a troop or like a public servant, like chill the fuck out on your American flags. Like, come on, I pay my taxes. I'm as much of an American as you. Fuck off. It's the same thing with the hometown team. Like the fact that the New York Jets made $1 on merchandise this year. I mean, that place should be firebombed. Like, what the fuck? They couldn't even.
Hey, they beat the Rams.
Exactly, and they hurt themselves.
It's the dumbest.
They're not getting
it's the dumbest win in the history.
They had an actual good team, and if you just play like you've been playing, Aaron Donaldson's going to kill you.
Aaron Darnold.
What did I say? Aaron Darnold. When they
doesn't. Well, that's. I mean.
Yeah, it's
in
insane.
2 years. Like everyone's like, was it Donaldson? Or because nobody's gonna know who he is.
No, I mean only Colin Cowherd is still trying to tell me he's a good quarterback and they picked well. It's insane. Like the fact that the Jets have fans and that they spend money this year. Like you should be boycotting the Jets so hard until they clean that entire fucking rat's nest out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are just teams that do not deserve fans and money. And so for you to be like, well, I mean, I live a 10-minute drive from there. That's cool. All right, well, if I lived 10 minutes from Waco, I wouldn't be like, I'm going to run in that burning fucking Colt compound. It's stupid. I hate it.
Hey, Dave, Crash.
And I know you like all of our local
Y'all
teams.
need one?
Yo, Crash.
Crash, y'all need one?
Yeah, that guitar skills are sick.
I'm for it.
Great.
I'm for
Why?
it.
Why? Is it just because that's how you've always been?
Same reason that you're for, like, going to strip clubs on Christmas. Sense of community. Sense of community. Sense of community.
I do support the local strip clubs. I do.
But it's so like I grew up in Indiana, so I'm a Colts and Pacers fan. I grew up being a home. Now, I'm not a hometown fan in college because I'm a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
And I'm not an IU or Purdue. Fuck them. Don't like them. Don't like them. And I only became a Michigan fan to like make my dad mad.
Yeah.
Like not maliciously.
That's
but
why
like,
I'm a Brewers fan.
When I was like five or 6 years old, Michigan was in the championship, the Glenn Rice team that they won it. And I was watching the game with my dad, and I was just kind of a shithead kid, man. I just was. And my dad was like, now we can't root for Michigan here because they play in the same conference as IU. Because my dad's a big IU fan. He's like, so we got to root against them because they beat IU this year. You know, like we're mad at them. And I was like, no. I was like, your boy's a Michigan fan here. I was like, go blue, you know. And I was like yelling it, and my dad was like, no. And I was like, it was kind of fun, you know. But then I just like kept being a Michigan fan, and I kept asking for Michigan shit at Christmas every year. And my dad was like, no.
And now you've been karmically cursed with Jim Harbaugh.
Kind of, yeah.
That's what you get.
But like,
you broke your rule.
The reason I'm an LA Kings fan.
Yep.
It's because when I lived in LA, I didn't have a hockey team, and you're like, dude, the Kings are dope, and I was like, well, I'm here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll fucking go to the bars and root for the Kings with everybody.
Sure.
And it ended up being a magical year. It was great.
Yeah, I started liking
the
Kings.
But it's something
like 2
cool
years
about
before
that. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I'm saying you should try them out, right? Like it's that old joke, like, wow, isn't it funny that everyone's soulmate lives in the same small town as them?
Yeah,
you know, like it's insane. It doesn't make sense. We have a whole universe of like athletic teams.
Yeah.
Why would you just be like, well, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. My life's not already sad enough. I'll be a Jaguars fan.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit. Don't do that to yourself. If you happen to live in town and you go and it's all good, fine. The moment I saw the inside of the Colts stadium and saw Colts fans, I knew I was better than them. I knew immediately I had to not be a part of that.
I think it takes some moxie and some fortitude to be able to root for these teams, man.
Stupid. I think that's stupid.
It builds character.
Yeah, I mean, so it'd be getting shot with like BB guns all day.
It's fun to be a fucking, where's LeBron playing? I'm a Heat fan this year.
I didn't say you have to do that.
Like LA now.
I'm saying when you pick your team
lame,
that you're going to root for and you're going to wear their fucking clothing in public like a billboard.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to watch the Pacers tonight with my buddy. We're gonna cook some din and watch some fucking Pacers.
That's great.
At the crib, man.
And the Pacers will be like a 5 seed this year.
100%, maybe 4.
That's good for them.
And we'll lose in the first round.
You'll get chucked in the first round. But that's fine. It's fine. But you went and you felt this was like a thing.
We did get beat in the first round last year.
Yeah.
By the team that was the second hardest.
One of the most intimidating.
Second hardest finals ever won.
So it's just a mountain climb.
Dirty Mike and the boys over there. Giving LeBron a run.
Ruffy and Dirty Mike showed up. LeBron set up straight, thank God. Yeah. No, I don't understand this. I'm not saying you have to switch teams every year.
So that's the thing.
But why would now this is the thing. I'll give you this. It's better if you have someone to root for.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter if you switch every year. So if every season, right before the season starts, I say, this year I am really interested by the Royals, right? Like I like this roster. They got a player I like. Boom. And you root for them through the highs and lows of that season. I'm for that. But I'm like,
that's stupid.
Penguins are monogamous in 1 year increments. Right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's our year to make eggs and fuck. Like, I'm with you. I'll go to the sea and bring back rocks and fish for you. And only you.
Nudge it up with their nose.
Yeah, for this year. Then the thing hatches and you're like, yeah, we did it. Nice fucking penguin lips. We did it. Yeah. It's over. And then next year you do it again with a new penguin.
Nah, it doesn't.
That's fine with me. I think you should have someone to root for throughout the season.
See,
you can switch every season.
Because that's like, to me, that's like the beautiful thing, right? So like, say, okay,
once you buy clothes, then it's a bigger commitment.
So say like you're a Heat fan your whole life.
Sure.
Miami Heat, right?
Sure.
And then Dwayne Wade comes around and they win that championship in 2006, and you're like, all right, because we've been pretty shitty for a while, right? And then they eat shit for another 6-7 years. They didn't eat shit. They were decent with Wade. Mm-hmm. They were never like bottom feeders. And then LeBron comes, right? Mm-hmm. And you're fucking glorious for 4 years. And it's like, oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it goes away again, and you have to keep rooting for them. And they make it back to the finals last year. And they're just riding this fucking wave with the Heat. You know what I mean? Because they've been treating like that's cool, man.
It's not.
Because they had to eat shit for a few years. And then
your math doesn't work.
Yeah, it does.
So what you're saying is that if I just was there when LeBron was there, and then the year Shaq came, I became a fan, right? And then when those players leave, and you're just left with Udonis Haslem, I run away. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that your mountaintop of enjoyment is higher because you have negatives. That's not how math works. You don't add to the peak by having negatives.
I think I maybe need to reverse my philosophy.
Okay.
Well... in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I need to go back to the drawing board.
I'm going to go back to like 6.
No. So I'll ride with a team forever, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like a fluid fan when it comes to dating.
Yes, you are.
Because I'll be like, as soon as shit gets bad, I'm like, nope. I'm going to see what the Cavs are doing this year. I'm just following LeBron around in my dating life.
This wedding day is so much better because I let you pull a knife on me 3 times.
Maybe I need to flip that and fucking chase sports teams around and fucking stick with one lady.
It's one of those things people say that has never made sense to me. It's like the absence makes the heart grow fonder, and you're like, yeah, because when they're absent, you forget all the horrible things about them. This is not like just sitting and suffering is not a way to enjoy your life.
And it doesn't make the heart grow fonder because all it does is like when you're sitting there, like you break up, right?
Yeah.
And then like day 3, you're just real horny, and you're like, I bet she'd fuck me right now. You know what I mean? And that's what the absence does. It makes you miss the puss more. It doesn't make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
And then you start banging somebody else, and you don't even think about that because that absence isn't fonder anymore. Yeah. And then that girl stops banging, and you're like, oh, maybe I should get back with her.
The absence is what you're replacing.
It's
it doesn't
only
matter
those periods of time when you're not getting laid.
That
the heart grows fonder.
Yeah, imagine this. Imagine if you've been a person in your life and you have been a fan of, let's say, a band like Good Charlotte or Nickelback, right? Yeah. Bad, shitty music that people should be ashamed to listen to, right? But then next summer, let's say this summer, right? The hopefully putting COVID behind us summer. Nickelback comes out with an album that decimates the charts.
Yeah.
All of us, you start reading think pieces like, did we just not see it coming? The tsunami, right? The new pandemic. Love of Nickelback, right? They take over the universe.
They're amazing.
They make an album that slaps, and we're all like, it's undeniable now. We're going to listen to that album.
Yeah.
Is that album less good for us because we didn't fucking have to listen to shitty Nickelback for the last 15 years? No.
Yeah.
You take what's good. You throw away what's bad. That's the way you should live your life.
Speaking of Good Charlotte, I always wanted to make this.
Dude, that motherfucker's married to Cameron Diaz.
I know.
Isn't that insane?
Who cares? She's not doing anything anymore anyway. She retired.
I mean, sure. But prime Cameron Diaz to prime...
I never thought Cameron Diaz was that hot.
Dude,
I don't think she's ugly, but...
Her in The Mask was like the first time I had a real-life Jessica Rabbit
She's
moment.
all right.
Plus, she seems cool. She just seems cool.
She's
and
a Hollywood
fun.
6.
No, how dare you? She's a Hollywood 7, first off. She is a Hollywood 7, which makes her an Indiana 11. And I'm just shocked that a woman like that ends up with portly, goateed, worst band ever bass player.
Yeah.
Good for him. But I got to say, good for him.
I always wanted to do a Good Charlotte. I want to make a Good Charlotte cover band. Mm-hmm. But we do all of their songs as rap songs, and we're called Hood Charlotte. Pretty good,
That's
right?
a long reach for
pretty good, right?
I feel like people would read the
we gotta go see this
conception.
band. They do all these Good Charlotte songs, but rap them, and they're called Hood Charlotte.
Hey,
for like 6 months, our gimmick would be strong.
I think you would get like 3 Spotify listens per person. It's like the same. My brother's like, dude, we just found this all Jewish boy band. They're dope. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, they have this great song called "Spend My Dre Dre." And I was like, all right. And he turned it on. I'm like, oh, it's funny because you didn't expect it to be this.
Yeah.
And then by the third song, I'm like, dude, next song. Like it wears off. Unless you're about to be Nickelback.
Not a banger. So I'm
throw away things that suck, guys. Don't suffer with a shitty local
I'm
team.
for rooting for the hometown team, man.
Against fucking
camaraderie.
Golden against?
You got to watch it with your boys.
No.
Everybody has fun. The community comes together.
Yeah. You know what's
for it.
They can fucking shoot television waves from good cities to me, so I'm good.
What you got?
All right. So I read this story, and this was a wild story to me. So in 2020, we've obviously had the rise of like the mask industry, right? People are making masks. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new industry that popped up. Well, I read this thing. This guy may be facing legal charges because his business is they're not like COVID face masks, but he's printing these kind of latex rubbery high quality replicas of anyone's face you send.
Like actual masks. You like Halloween masks.
Like Mission Impossible masks.
But like movie quality.
And they only cover
like,
your face, right? They're not like over your hair and whatever. But like I could send him a picture of your face. He could print it out so high quality that from about 20 feet, it would look pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
To thinking, oh shit, that's Nick's face. It's someone, I think someone sent a picture of their ex or something. And so now they're saying there's a chance that they might go through his inventory and use it in a legal case against him, right? Because I tried to look it up before, but if you Google Asian man and face mask right now, it's Google sucks for this. Yeah. It's not good. But anyway, so this guy, because I saw the mask, I was like, those are fucking awesome. But then it hit me. I was like, I think this guy should go to jail. We need to crush this guy now. Could you imagine what's about to happen?
I'm for it, by the way.
Okay, well, what if I wear your mask and I go commit a crime? And all of a sudden, they're like, Nick Hall.
Fingerprints,
Nick
bud.
Hall looks like he pulled a James Harden, gained some weight, and slaughtered a prostitute.
Fingerprints, man.
The
police aren't going to be fooled by a face mask.
You don't think the police could get fooled?
Yeah. No. Well,
I think the police are still fooled all the time when they're just like, black guy. And they're like, there he is. So I don't even think it's that hard. You know what I mean?
True.
I don't think it's that hard.
But there's all kinds of other stuff that you wouldn't get. Like
if I wear gloves and don't jerk
if you
off
wore
on
a
the
Nick
dead
mask
body,
and fuck.
if I wore gloves and didn't jerk off near the corpse, the only thing they'd say is, that guy wearing a backwards red dinger hat who looks exactly like Nick Hall but a little plumper. He was wearing a skiing jacket. I think he killed this prostitute.
Super bad when Seth Rogen's like, you know, when I became a cop, I just thought there'd be cum everywhere at crime scenes. He goes, not the case. Not the case.
Not the case. I'm scooping it up. I was watching this thing about a Yorkshire Ripper in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it really was. They're just like, it was hard because, like, it wasn't any of their friends who killed them. And I was like, yeah, no shit.
That's the best John Mulaney bit. Like, when he's like, back in the day when you committed a crime, he's like, the way you got away with it, all you had to do was just be gone before the cops got there. He's like, that's it. That's all you had to do. Just be gone before the police got there.
Yeah, just don't be married to who you kill and leave. And like you're saying, like, yeah, if you went back to ancient Greek times, you could serial kill like 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's why like the Zodiac was just killing all these people. They're like, hope he sends another letter. We'll never find him. You know.
I really hope he sends us a puzzle someone can solve in 2020. Yeah, no, I think this is horrible. What about this? Is like it's the analog deep fake, right?
Yeah.
So what if I wore I wore your mask and then all of a sudden it got out like, oh, Nick Hall cheated on the girl he's with this month, you know, in a video on the hub.
I think you're giving it too much fucking credence, man. Like,
I think with a small
if you
amount
put on
of
a
video
Nick mask,
editing.
As soon as you spoke to somebody in real life, they'd be like, yeah, it's not Nick. It's some guy with a weird mask on.
Yeah, I'm here to have sex. And they'd be like, oh, my God, it is like, I don't know. I was like, I haven't really broken down.
That's a good Nick impression.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to like sex or something?
I just refuse to accept Bob Dylan.
I'm in Hood, Charlotte. Do you guys want to bang?
Do you guys like puns and Bob Dylan? I'm here. I'm
That's
here for the bang.
Yeah, I like
I'm here for the drinks.
That's
a terrible Nick impression.
I love it.
I think it's automatically my worst
impression. It's the biggest form of, I'm flattered. It's the biggest form of flattery.
Well, now I'm going to have to start processing it because I think I could almost do Kent Murphy because I've heard your voice do that like for 8,000 hours.
A million times, yeah.
Yeah, but my actual Nick, not great. But I'm
like
saying, I think with like a day's work, I could be a passable Nick. And all of a sudden, like, Nick shows up in orgy. You know, like, what? Nick shows up licking ice cream at the grocery store. I think about it
like this, though.
Okay.
All right. You're at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, it's late. Things didn't go your way. You're picking out the 5. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna take this 5 home.
Sure.
But you get there, and you got a fucking, Selma Hayek mask or some shit. I don't know why I fucking picked Selma Hayek. Like, of all the fucking hot people, but whatever.
She's up there.
And you're both a little drunk, and you're like, hey, can I show you my king? And she's like, yeah. And you're just like, put this mask on. And you're like, way better. Way better.
You know what blow her mind is if you took my Nick mask and put it on her. Just hammering yourself out.
Oh!
I'm not saying I would do that, but I would be tempted.
I would be tempted.
I would be tempted to have at myself. Okay, so sexually, fine. with two
you could
consenting
blow
adults.
yourself. You could it'd be the first time in your life you could blow yourself.
Yeah,
if you look down and the face looking back up, it was you. Oof. Oh man, now we're getting dark. Now we're getting dark.
It's gonna be hard for me to process.
I think that's a bigger problem than people being like, I think that's Nick.
I think okay. So I'm more worried about people stealing my image. If I put my image on other people, that's fine. Like, what if you became like the face of a movement all of a sudden? What if like the Proud Boys were like, we need like that V for Vendetta mask, like Anonymous, and all of a sudden every Proud Boy looked like me and you. Not that they don't already, probably.
Well,
but
probably
white chubby guys with beards. But anyways,
but then
that would be fucking horrible. What do? You'd have to sue them. They'd be like, freedom of speech. You're like, no, that's my fucking face. It's two conflicting American ideals.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
It could.
Now because.
Now
they heard you say it, and they're going to be like, well, we got to get Josh and Nick masks.
This is why we have science fiction, and this is why these problems exist, because someone's like, yeah, we can clone humans. What's the worst that could happen? And they don't ever think about what's the worst that can happen.
Yeah, but what's the best that could happen? We get Multiplicity Part 2.
I think the best thing that could
happen
is one of
the best movies ever.
I get
Michael
Lizzo
Keaton.
to wear my face, and we wrestle.
Ooh. That's your
Lizzo
fucking,
with my face.
You wouldn't be able to wrestle. You'd jizz in a second.
That guy would just explode.
You're like, me and Lizzo? My ego and Lizzo all wrapped in one?
Yeah, if she pulled that flute out,
yeah,
I just exploded.
You'd be done for
into dust. I mean, that's a cool what if.
I'm for it, man. Well, and you know what? I sometimes I start to lean diabolical. I start to be like, you know what?
See, guys like you are exactly what I'm worried about.
I've been working pretty hard most of my life, tired of doing it. And then and I'm a thinker. Get me a mask.
Thinker.
Yeah, get me one of those masks and start doing crimes.
Yeah.
Now, if he came out and he was like, I make a mask and also like false fingerprints, I'd be like, oh, well, that's too far.
What if you just Men in
That's
Blacked
too
it
far.
and erased your fingerprints?
Yeah, you could burn them. I mean, it's not.
do that.
It's not the Expendables. Like,
right.
Nobody's really.
And again, the number one thing you just don't have to do is jerk off at the crime, which I can do that before I go crime. You know what I mean?
Wonder if anybody's ever like loved crime so much that they're at the crime they're stealing, and all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, I came again. Fuck.
They just have rubber bands on the bottom of their
just
pants.
love crime.
God, it's just so much fun. God. Yeah, no, I think what'll happen is this guy, because I don't think they, like you said, they're not so impossible. But imagine those fucking like Walmart cameras, right?
Yeah.
From 50 feet away. Nick Hall walked in his fucking red hat and his ski jacket.
But I mean, they'd have to look exactly like you.
It looks exactly
But
like
I'm talking about body and all that shit.
Wear a puffy coat.
You're the one thinking it through. You're like, how can I pull this off?
This is my job in life, I think, is to think these things through to their ludicrous possibilities.
I agree.
That's the job of a writer, a creative type. You gotta
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm still for it.
I see you're
only for the sex aspect, because I want to try some weird shit with
I'm
that.
for everything sexually. But your I have no lines in the sand is something I can't abide.
It's not I just don't I don't think that's realistic. I think
this is the start of a movie.
I think that makes for a good movie plot, but I don't think that's
this
realistic.
is the start of a movie where you just come home from the bar, you're like, man, I'm beat.
Yeah.
That's not how you sound either. Man, I'm beat.
Man, I'm beat.
Where's my Bob Dylan and my alcohol? And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, and a door kicks open. A door kicks open and the SWAT's like trying to take you down. Like, you murdered 16 prostitutes.
They're like, no, I was just here while listening to Bob Dylan and doing alcohol.
What?
I was just doing alcohol all day. It wasn't me.
I just play with Rhonda and do alcohol. That's not. For those listening only on audio, they're gonna be like, "That is the worst impression."
I love it. I think it's
I don't
great.
know. It bothers me that you never see any of these things as a problem.
Well,
I'm against
once again,
hyper-realistic
I'm
face
for
masks.
chaos.
I know,
but I don't think that one is going to get us to chaos. I think it's just going to be.
I think that's the easiest way to chaos. Like, I don't think AI robots are taking over the planet. I think something like this and deep fakes. That's why we live in a post-truth
whatever
world.
like the equivalent to like a hypochondriac is. Like that's what you are. That's what you are to like.
Nonsense.
End of days scenarios. Yeah.
Apocalypse nonsense. I am a hypochondriac.
Yeah, you're like, don't put those shoes on. Have you thought about this? Oh my God.
That is true.
All right. I'm for it. Okay, here we go. Luke Murphy,
Okay.
no relation to Kent, on YouTube wants to know if you're for or against collectibles.
If the camera could pan around, I think I am clearly in the pro collectibles.
Yeah.
My pride and joy up there, that Steve Urkel doll that my parents.
Yeah,
gifted
that
me
is
on
a
at
cool
Christmas.
Steve Urkel doll, though.
This is the thing. I'm pro collectibles, but in the last year, I've turned.
Yeah?
And I'm starting to hate that I'm into collectibles as much.
Okay.
I think it's kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a way to try to say that you like things more than other people, take ownership, make yourself. Because the thing, I look at all my collectibles, right? And I never am like, oh, that's sparking a lot of joy. Like most of the time I walk right past that shelf with like my 800 collectible figures or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Right? They're fun to buy. And then you can say like, look, I have this thing. I like Batman the Animated Series more than you. And then you really never think about it again. You don't touch it.
I think in your case, though, like from the stuff that you have collectibles, right? So this is your workspace. This is your writer, essentially your writer's room, right?
Yep.
Most of the shit that you've got is movies. You got some comic shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even subconsciously, maybe for you, like this shit being in your fucking atmosphere,
Yeah.
you know, probably sparks some creativity.
Sure.
So I think there is some
Maybe.
merit to that. Now, my grandma used to collect like California raisins when like when like Hardee's had the collectibles. Like
I
McDonald's or
remember
whatever.
the California raisins.
Like my grandma
rush.
used to collect fucking every McDonald's toy, like the most nonsensical shit.
Yeah. My grandfather
Babies.
collected John Wayne plates.
Yeah,
Like plates.
but that's doing nothing for, like, at least yours like maybe provides some inspiration, some kind of headspace to get into.
I mean, maybe when he finished his noodles, he's like, oh, look.
I'm against collectibles, man.
Yeah, but see, I've started to think about it this, right? So get past like my Urkels and Batmans and all that, right?
Yeah.
Even things like tattoos are just collectibles,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like what we do now is everything we buy is trying to help us tell a lie about who we are.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you just are like, I love Star Wars and I buy a Star Wars toy for my kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest things that happened to me in 2020 was my kid has Fridays off. He has digital learning or whatever.
Yeah.
And so me and him watched The Mandalorian every Friday, right? Just me and him. And the season finale was like the coolest thing. I was like fucking ugly crying where he like crawled on me and looked at me like, are you fucking okay? And I was like, it's irrational, you know, lost it. And it was like a beautiful moment. It's like, and so if I buy him a toy, that's something like a bonding thing between me and him.
100%.
When I buy myself a Star Wars toy, I feel like a bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm 30. I still love all this shit and I still buy it. But it's like, I feel like I'm not buying it for me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm buying it so that hopefully someone will come to my house and be like, that guy really likes Star Wars more than me.
Well, I'm
And that's a shitty thing
I'm
to do.
against it in adulthood. For it. Like kids,
You
I
don't
think,
have money when you're a kid, though.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, you still collect shit when you're a kid.
That's true.
You're learning how to love. You're learning how to do all kinds. Anyway, so like.
Wow, that's deep.
Well, when I was a kid, right, I used to collect everything.
Yeah.
I did. Like, I remember one time, it was a Mountain Dew, I think. They came out and all their cans had Star Wars characters on them, right?
Big into those, yeah.
And so, like, my mom came home one time with this, like, 24-pack of Mountain Dew, and I fucking ripped, like, 20 of them out because there was, like, 20 different ones in there from the Star Wars. No, and I put them up on a shelf in my room. My mom was like, what the fuck happened to all those Mountain Dews? And I was like, no, I'm collecting them. She's like, you took like 20 of them out of the box. Like, fuck you, you know, like, so for you and your brothers. And I was like, no, we'll get another one. She's like, no, they're like $8 a case. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, we're not getting more shit. Like, and that weekend I went and stayed the weekend at my buddy Nick's house, and I'll never forget it. And my mom was so mad at me. And when I came home, all those Mountain Dews were gone. And my older brother had a sleepover, and him and his buddy drank like all of the ones that I collected. Because my mom was like, yeah, you can have them. Fucking, like, Nick shouldn't be collecting them anyway, you know? Like, but I was like, motherfucker. You know, so like, I was like kind of mad about it. But it was like, but my mom was like, made a good point. She's like, you've never even seen Star Wars. And I was like, I know, but I want to collect these.
You haven't seen Star Wars.
No.
That's right. Wow.
And she got really mad at me. But like, I think I used to collect a lot of shit. And then when I was 22, I moved to Hawaii. Just like kind of on a whim with my buddy. And I was forced to just like consolidate my life. I had to throw away. I had a bag of clothes, my guitar, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
True
And that's when
troubadour.
I learned how to fucking let go of shit.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I think collecting is dumb.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
'Cause
think
like,
it is.
When I had to clean out my life, I was like, man, I got all this shit
Oh, yeah.
that I don't do anything with.
Well,
like,
I'm a book hoarder.
Yeah.
I'm a board game
books
hoarder.
at least have some value, though. Like, you can go and read the books.
I read them, and
you
I'm
can
very
share the books
forgetful,
with people.
so I reread a lot.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, when I moved from California to here, they charged me thousands of extra dollars because they realized every box I had was half full of books.
Oh, yeah.
No, like, do you know how much fucking
so
book
heavy.
limit? It's insane.
So heavy.
It's insane how many books I have.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? Like, maybe a handful of them I'll go back to, but I don't really need them. But I hate reading e-reader. But it's the same thing. Like, I'll do that, but then every week I have this set of neighbors, and we have these giant trash cans, like big enough to stuff multiple dead bodies in, right? Like like James Harden sized dead
Big
bodies,
time.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And
James Harden.
yeah,
Two James Hardys.
Jimmy Hardys could fit like 3 Jimmy Hardys. And I look over, and my neighbors have so much trash.
Yeah.
And we put like 1 trash bag out a week and 1 recycling bag, maybe a couple Amazon boxes. Every time I look out my window, though, their fucking cans are so overflowed, the lids are out, the boxes are hanging out, so when they dump the trash, it goes all over the street.
They're consumers,
And it
man.
infuriates. Yeah, it's
They're
like
consumers.
they're pure American, and you're like, but it bothers me, even though I am kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
To a lesser, at least I would agree, my hobbies are cooler, right? Like collecting Dungeons and Dragons shit.
Yeah.
Is cooler than like I remember when Beanie Babies hit, and it was the dumbest thing. I saw a court document once where this couple literally had a fucking mountain.
I've seen that.
Yeah, of Beanie Babies
yeah.
on the floor of an actual adult courtroom.
Yeah, 100%.
And they went one by one, taking turns selecting which Beanie Babies they got in their divorce. And if I was the judge, I would say, impound those Beanie Babies next to the drugs, and you're both going to jail for 6 months to learn a lesson. And I would have lit their property on fire.
Yeah.
It's the only property I'm for seizing.
Dude, I had a
It's
Beanie
crazy.
Baby one time. It's a sad story. It's a life lesson, man. I was like, and this is the life lesson is, you know what I mean? Like, don't give the girl everything all at once. You know what I mean? Make her earn it.
Shit.
This is the life lesson.
You got burned by a Beanie Baby?
Oh yeah, dude. I was like 12, like 11 or 12, right?
Yeah.
And we went to a Cubs game, and they gave away these Cubs limited edition Beanie Babies. This is when the Beanie Baby craze was going crazy. And this girl came up, and she was probably, because there's only like kids 12 and under, so like I just made the cutoff. And this girl came up, and she was probably like 13 or 14, but like this hot old girl, you know, like I was like, dude, I was like a 6th grader. She was like an 8th grader, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, can I
Forbidden
have that
fruit.
Beanie Baby? And I was like, totally.
You can earn it.
I was like, you got it. No, I was like, for you,
James
girl,
Harden.
for you, girl, I'll give it to you right
Yeah,
now.
girl.
You got my heart. And then like 10 seconds later, her boyfriend walked up, you know, like her 14-year-old boyfriend that was there with family. And she's like, look, babe, I got this. And I was like, crushed. I was crushed. Well, then come to find out, years later, that fucking limited edition Cubs Beanie Baby was worth a fuck ton.
Because some fucking
Worth
idiot.
a fuck ton.
Some 35-year-old
Like,
virgin.
you can look it up. It might still be worth some shit
Crazy.
today, but yeah, like it was
Dude,
worth.
when I went to California, my mom sold all kinds of, like I had a bunch of those first run Pokemon
And I
cards
gave it
that
up
are
for
worth
some
a ton.
bitch.
I did the same. You were a Beanie Baby cuck.
Yeah,
That
I
was
did.
it.
I got cucked by the beanie.
Yeah, and this is the thing, I don't collect like first edition expensive shit. Like all my books are used, whatever. I think the collection I've seen that makes me the most sad for people is shoes.
Yeah.
I think shoe collectors are the saddest breed of humans.
Yeah. And
And
vinyl.
Vinyl is, I bought my wife a record player just because she has no hobbies.
Yeah.
So she's impossible to buy gifts for.
Yeah.
So I got her a record player just so I could buy easy gifts.
Yeah.
Right? So I could just get an album.
Yeah.
She literally never listens to it because listening to vinyl is stupid.
Nobody
and it sounds
does.
Worse,
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So, like,
I
yeah.
can tell Alexa to play any song and it sounds better.
Yeah, it's stupid. Look, it's better on vinyl. Like, no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's like digitally enhanced on in this. What sounds way better. It's mastered better.
Yeah.
On this, you know what I mean? Like you're just.
I mean, that's how most.
I like the crackling sound. Oh,
That's
cool.
how most technologies are. They get way worse after every 50 years.
No, but like I had a buddy one time, and he was only like he was a friend, but not like a good friend. You know, it was like more of an acquaintance, but like we hung out sometimes. And he had like a sweet vinyl collection, like tons of them. And I was like, I always thought that was cool. And then one day he asked me to help him move.
Not
and
so
I
cool
did.
to
And it
me.
was like, your fucking books, man. That shit's heavy. Like, he had crates of vinyl.
Yeah.
And I got halfway through it, and I was like, I like quantified our friendship, put a value on it. And I was like, nope.
Less than.
And I was like, hey, man, I got to go. I just got called into work. And I did not get called into work. I just left.
Fuck you, hipster.
I did. I carried like one crate of vinyl. I was like, no.
Yeah, I'm not doing this for 8
Fuck
hours.
that. For a
Yeah.
fucking 2 slices of pizza and a Bud Light, not a chance. Not a chance, pal.
I'm here for the Bob Dylan and the alcohol.
And ever
Right,
since
that's
then,
how
I
he got
hated
you.
people that collected vinyl. Not because I hate vinyl. I mean, it's whatever. I don't care about it. But because I
least-
had to carry a crate of it one time, I
Yeah.
don't like it.
If you get like original vinyls and pay a bunch, like
My
if you
brother
just
has
get
a
the
ton, yeah.
reprints at Barnes and Nobles or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like $30. Not
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah.
But like shoes, people spend like those new Kanye's that came out.
Yeezys.
It looks like when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man gets defeated and just like his corpse is everywhere in New York.
Oh, yeah, dude.
They're gigantic and they're white, so like you can't actually wear them. Like I've seen guys get in fights over people stepping on their shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need to add something like that to your
I
life.
worked with this girl one time, and she had like apps, like multiple apps
Yeah,
that would tell her where she could get shoes when they dropped.
it's so stupid.
And one time there was like a pair of J's or something that came out, Jordans.
Yeah.
And she had to go to Chicago because she won a lottery to get like in line to be able to buy these.
Yeah.
Right? And she was like, will you go to Chicago with me to get these shoes? And normally I would have been like, go fuck yourself. But she was smoking hot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drove to Chicago with this girl because I wanted to bang her.
You in
And,
Chicago, you get
I
cucked
mean,
a lot. in Chicago.
this one was a good
Worth
one.
it.
This
Yeah.
was a good one.
Okay.
But she was so hot that I like compromised my morals because that's what I do.
That story should have ended with Shirley Jackson's
But-
short story, The Lottery.
In the back of my mind, I was like, if she was like one notch,
If she was a Cameron
Lord.
Diaz.
because I was
or,
like, this is the like, you're driving to Chicago right.
no,
I'm driving you to Chicago right now
stupid.
to
Well,
buy a pair of shoes.
Yeah, because I came this close. Because everyone who knows me knows I only wear Chucks. I have like 8 different pairs because people occasionally buy me shoes for gifts. I've
Yeah.
never understood. But they're different colors, so like I can match them with whatever I'm wearing. But I've had the same ones forever. I wear them until they literally have a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're fine. And I thought once, because I remember when I first got to LA, someone's like, they did a study. And the first thing a woman notices when she's deciding if she's going to fuck a man is his shoes.
Bullshit.
There's no way.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I was like, maybe they noticed that his shoes are expensive and he has money. Like, that's the only thing. No lady's like, oh, nice Chucks. I mean,
I'm gonna
the
run
rest
an
of me would
experiment.
do that. Yeah.
I'm
that's-
gonna run my own experiment. I'm gonna get some shit shoes.
Yeah.
Buy my dress real nice. I'm gonna go to the bar, and then the next day I'm gonna wear my like real nice fucking like Italian leather boots. But then like,
Sweats.
well,
Fanny pack. Sweats are in,
sweats
though.
aren't fair for me because then I get a gnarly dick print and they're all like, oh my
And it's
god.
like, oh, God.
And I'm like, no.
yeah, I'd do him with no shoes.
no. Fuck shoes. Get them off.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not fair. I can't do that. Yeah, but I'm gonna run. That's there's no way that.
I just like the idea of you walking around dick first in sweats.
Oh yeah.
Just barefoot.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
let's not lie to ourselves.
You wanna knock boots that I'm not wearing?
I already knocked them off. Just you're like, dick print. I don't need shoes. No hat, no shoes. Service. Now.
Let's go. Oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
All right.
That's
all
fucking
right.
great.
Let's recap. Well, we start
Fucking
off
hell.
with James Hardy's
Yeah, James, 4 against disgruntled James Hardy.
4.
4.
And then we had fucking
Hometown teams.
Hometown teams. 4.
Against
And then you had the Asian mask
high quality facial mask.
guy. 4.
Against, that's dangerous.
Collectibles against.
4. I still have to say 4. I'd be a liar if I
Yeah.
didn't. I'm 4.
I had a lot of 4s today. That
Not
was good.
shoes. Not shoes,
It was a
though.
positive day. Hey guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is you do. Have a good one. Hopefully you get to see at least some of your family. I know it's fucking tough out there.
True.
But we'll be back next week. And go to CoachKentMurphy.com/shop. Give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us comments and like buttons on YouTube. Bye.